I wanted to ask you, you talked yesterday a little bit about, maybe having fun and what you were going to do to kind of get the juice back with your team. And the guys just said that, you guys played like some sort of handball game after, and that you really stressed having fun yesterday as the thought of the day and all that stuff. How do you feel that went over? Did you feel a sense of lightness, a feel of fun in the practice and afterward yesterday?
Well, we played baseball is what we did, but
Okay.
we did it with a like a beach ball.
Okay.
And it's my understanding there's been, Alex, is there's social media that has some clips of it?
Yes, it's up on Cane's Hoops.
Okay.
So you can check that out. The guys had a really good time. And the whole point of doing stuff like that, if you remember, Michelle, yesterday, Luke Hancock asked me if we had done anything like that. And we really hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
So in discussing it with the coaching staff, the coaches all felt like I did, that, sometimes you just need to be rejuvenated somehow, some way. And I thought that yesterday afternoon ended on a very positive note. It was very competitive, a lot of fun. The guys enjoyed it. It's not basketball, so it had nothing to do with hoops. And it was a very good way to end practice yesterday.
Thank you.
Go to Cal Friedman from Kane Sport. Cal.
Coach, you've beaten Wake Forest and Georgia Tech already this season. Are you prepared for the adjustments that both teams are going to make heading into these next two games?
Cal, that's an interesting question, the way you presented it. Here's what I know. Those two programs are very well coached. When we played Georgia Tech the last time, they started the game in a defense that they had never shown in any previous game. So how do you prepare for something that you didn't even know they were going to do? And the answer is you don't prepare for that particular defense. You just know that the opponent, like Georgia Tech, is going to play multiple defenses. They're going to change defenses constantly. They're going to play man-to-man. They're going to play zone. They're going to do switching. They're going to do trapping. And so your overall offensive scheme has to be able to accommodate any kind of adjustment that Georgia Tech may make.
We'll go to Brian Kanzer from Category 5. Brian.
Hey, Coach. Just one question for you. I was just wondering, can you speak a little bit about what it means for the team to be back in Watsco in front of the student section and the home fans in a crucial game like this against Georgia Tech?
Yeah, Brian, you've been at the games, right?
I have, yes.
The students have been going crazy, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been great.
Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've set 2 records already, the students have.
Yeah, back-to-back games broke the record.
All right, so Brian, it's fantastic to have the students showing that kind of support for our basketball team. We certainly hope that continues. We're very, very excited going forward. It's not just about, tomorrow night's game against Georgia Tech. This is really our goal, is to create a home court atmosphere, an environment like so many of the other ACC schools have. That was something we really had it going several years ago. We were having sellout crowds, and hopefully we can get back to that now that COVID is starting to die down. And if we can keep it rolling, Brian, and take the student enthusiasm into the end of this season and into next year, we'll really be heading in the right direction. And considering the very good recruits that we're bringing in, I think the students will get very excited about the direction of our program.
Go to Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel.
Hi, Coach. I had 2
Hey,
questions.
Adam,
The first one.
hang on 1 second. I want to add something to my answer. Alex, is it all right if I talk to Brian again?
Of course, go ahead, Coach.
Brian, can you hear me still? Nod? You
Yes,
can nod.
yes, I
Okay.
can, Coach.
Let me tell you how important it is for us to have great student support. My wife and I were on campus Sunday afternoon at 2:00. I stopped by Smoothie King to have a smoothie. There were two young ladies that attend law school that were walking by, and I noticed that one of them was wearing a very distinctive T-shirt. So I stopped them and asked them about the T-shirt. But during the conversation, I asked them, hey, do you ever come to basketball games? And they said no. And I said, well, I'm inviting you to come to the basketball game. And then my wife said, you can come and sit with me in my section. So Brian, what we're trying to do, we're trying to recruit students to come. Those two young ladies were in law school, very busy, but I'm hoping they'll be there Wednesday night.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Now, Adam.
Go to Adam.
Now I want to know what that shirt was, the distinctive shirt she was wearing was.
The T-shirt was very interesting. It said Law School Association. It had a picture, and the reason I stopped her is it had a picture of Thurgood Marshall and three other people that I kind of recognized, but I wasn't sure. So I asked the young lady, and she said, well, I have no idea who those people are. I just like the T-shirt. But she was a law school student. And so she ended up teaching me how to do facial recognition on my iPhone. Do you know how to do that, facial recognition?
I'm not sure. I know to like scan QR codes and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's anyway, we worked on it for 5 or 10 minutes, and even though I couldn't get it to tell me who the people were on the T-shirt, it was a very enlightening conversation, because this young lady, who's a law school student from UCLA, was explaining to me how to do some technology work, and I've since done it several times.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool story. Yeah, like two quick questions. The first one, you mentioned your friend on the teleconference yesterday, the sports psychologist. I wanted to double check. His name is Dr. Rotella. Okay. And the second one I had, also referring back to yesterday, is he kind of said, talked about how the team has gotten kind of gassed. And you also mentioned that, you felt like you guys didn't create enough turnovers against Virginia. I mean, how much are those two things linked? I mean, just like, maybe guys, not getting back in defense quick enough because they're tired or just, fatigued?
Well, the scramble defense requires great pressure on the ball, and then everybody anticipating the pass out of the trap, and then being ready to rotate. And when you're ready physically, but mentally you're a step slow, you're thinking a little slower, or maybe because of fatigue, you're not running quite as fast as you're capable of. But those things all materialized in the Virginia game. We were a step slow defensively, and it caused us to have a breakdown that led to easy shots, dunks, and wide open threes. And that has not been the case throughout the month of January. But February is a different month and a different story so far.
Go to Chris Stock from Inside the U.
Hey, Coach, I have two questions. If I could just get your thoughts on Michael DeVoe as a player. And then second, your bench. I'm curious what realistic expectations you have for the bench, either in production or what you're looking for them in total, and then how key they'll be down the stretch here, these final games.
Well, I'll answer those questions in reverse, Chris. The bench is huge for us. We need production from our bench. If we can get double-figure points, anything between 10 and 20 points would be fantastic. All right. We have some nights where Bensley Joseph, Wooga Poplar, Anthony Walker, those three guys in particular come in off the bench, can be very productive. Anthony Walker inside, Bensley nailing some threes, Wooger taking the ball to the basket. But we need production from them, not only at the offensive end, but at the defensive end, guarding some of these outstanding players. In Georgia Tech's last game, their bench scored 37 points. Coleman and Kelly in particular were nailing threes. So we need our guys who come in off the bench at approximately the same time those guys do and defend them with a vengeance, because those guys are critical to Georgia Tech's success as much as our guys are for our success.
Michael DeVoe, just your thoughts.
Oh yeah, Michael DeVoe is, to me, probably one of the 4 or 5 best guards at creating opportunities for himself. By that, I mean, he can create threes, step back threes, NBA type threes. He also has the best change of speed and change of direction in the league. He can go from fast to slow to fast. He can go from right to left. He can go back, right, spin. He's got great shot fakes. He's got a great mid-range game. He's terrific at moving without the basketball, trying to get backdoor layups. He is a complete handful for whoever is guarding him.
Go to Matt Shodell from Cane Sport. Matt.
Hey, Jim. I'll differ from some of my media friends. I only have a one-part question. Sorry to disappoint you. So it's sort of an ACC question, but as it relates to Miami. So 6 of your last 8 ACC opponents are either 500 in ACC play or worse, and 5 are below 500. So what I wanted to ask you is how much you feel that may or may not be indicative of any remaining ease of schedule, if that sort of makes sense to you, what I'm asking.
Well, I don't think you can judge based on somebody's record. That's like saying, Virginia couldn't beat Duke last night because, Virginia had a worse record. It had nothing to do with the record. It has to do with the personnel. It has to do with how they execute their game plan on that particular night. So, for example, when we went into the Virginia game, we were shooting 40% from 3. And we went 0 for 10 in the first half. And a lot of those were wide open. And a lot of those were our best shooters. So you can't judge on records. What you can judge on is how hard is a team playing and how well are they executing. And if you look at Georgia Tech and Miami, one of the key statistics is turnovers. Now, in their last game, Georgia Tech forced 18 turnovers by Clemson. When we played them, I think the 2 of us each had like 17 turnovers. So that's a major category for both squads because we've been forcing turnovers, they've been forcing turnovers. And in all likelihood, the team that handles the basketball better has a better chance of winning. The team that shoots better from 3 has a better chance of winning.
We got time for one more for Coach L. We'll go back to Brian Kanzer to wrap it up. Brian.
Hey, Coach, just one more question for you. Can you just talk a little bit about the fight that this team has showed, night in and night out, and how their determination and drive has helped you guys in, big game situations, and how that will help you tomorrow night?
Well, Brian, I really believe that the experience that the guys have had, some very positive experiences, some, losing experiences where, they felt like, oh, we could have won that game and it was close. So we have a lot of fight in us, but you have to have the energy. The energy creates the effort creates the execution. If you don't have the energy, you're not going to be able to give great effort. If you don't have great effort, it's going to be hard to execute against the teams that we play against. But this team has a lot of fight in them, and they've shown that throughout the season, whether we've been ahead and have to hang on or come from behind like we've done on many occasions. Our first ACC game, we were down 9 against Clemson, came back and won. We were down 18 to Syracuse, came back and won. We were down 26 to Florida State, came back and had a chance to win at the buzzer. So, this team has a lot of fight in them, but we would much prefer to play like we did against a North Carolina, where we're the team out in front and playing very, very well and have a lead throughout the game.